If I was in the film industry, I'd be up to take 5 by now. So hopefully 5th time's a charm, team. Today, you guys are going to be writing a spatial variations essay, and you're going to be doing it collaboratively with between 2 and 4 people. Now, if you want to do it individually, of course, that's always an option. But if you're over this individual work and you want to do some collaborative work with your team and with your friends, go for it. This essay will be due on Friday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm going to give you 3 days to do it. There are quite a few steps involved, and I'm going to go through those steps with you guys now. So, just a reminder that spatial variations are how something varies or changes within a space and between different locations. So for us, we're going to be looking at the sand dunes at the Muriwai coastal environment, so that's our space, and the different locations are Māori Bay, northern and southern Muriwai Beach. All right, got it out this time. Let's go. How are we going to do this? Task 1, who are you going to work with? Who can you just call and who can you just FaceTime with or go into a Google Meet with or go into a Zoom collaboration effort with? Who do you work well with? Who do you feel comfortable asking questions with? Decide on that first of all. That may take you a couple of minutes to do, or it might take you a bit longer depending on if you're just trying to narrow it down to just 4 people. What you're going to do then is you're going to pop over into our Google Classroom and you're going to see, this is just a test, that's why I put this here. You're all going to get given your work. What I would like you to do is I would like you to click on your assessment and you are going to write the people in your teams. This is what your document will actually look like. You're going to write the members of your team across there. And now for everybody else, you're going to delete it. But one person in your team is going to have that and they're going to share, using the share button, they're going to share that with you. And everybody else is going to delete the assigned work from them. So only 6 or 8 people will hand in their work to me. All right. So once you've got something, like once you've gone in there, you delete your work out if you're not working on your document, but you're working on somebody else's document. That's step number 1. Hope that made sense. Step number 2 is you're actually going to plan your essay. So when we gave you your other essay, we actually planned the steps for you. So we actually wrote down what each planning box needed to have, what each paragraph needed to have. For this essay, we've taken a step back because you guys are going to be working collaboratively. You can decide what each paragraph is going to have, what information is needed for each paragraph. So for example, paragraph 1 is setting the scene, and you're going to be restating the question. That's the first thing. So you're going to start by saying Muriwai Beach has spatial variations with its sand dunes, for example, and you're going to say where the different sand dunes are or something like that. Where is Muriwai Beach from the Auckland CBD? We always use Auckland CBD as our start point and we work from there. And then, yeah, you can see that. So in here, you're going to need to put down the specific information. So we've only given you a few little clues. This is not specific. This is not going to get you to your merit for excellences. Now, for paragraph 2, you're going to need to write down in your planning thing, this is general. How does the sand dune actually made in the first place? So if you go back to our spatial variations PowerPoint, which you guys have in your Google Classroom, you will see that on slide 4, it has the general information that we're looking for. All right, so paragraph 2 is your general information. How are sand dunes created? What are the actual processes and how do they interact? All right, what are the processes and how do they interact in a generalized, normalized situation? Alrighty, paragraph 3, you're going to plan out what are the 3 distinct patterns. Okay, so here you're literally saying, how are the sand dunes different at those 3 parts of the beach? So how are they different at Māori Bay? What do they look like at the southern end and at the northern end. So if we come back to our PowerPoint, we will see that there's no dunes at Māori Bay, so that's slide 3. You'll see the information about the northern Muriwai Beach on slides 7 and 8, and then you'll see the information at southern Muriwai Beach on slide 8. So that's the information that we need. The beach width will also play into this because this is talks about the amount of sediment that is there. So here we're just looking for the patterns. What we want for paragraph 4, 5, and 6 is why do those spatial variations occur? So how are the patterns different, processes different at each of those locations? So what happens at Māori Bay? What's the wave refraction got to do with it? What do the cliffs have to do with it? What is going on, and how come the sand dunes are non-existent at Māori Bay? At the southern end of Muriwai Beach, why are they steep? What's going on there? And what's happening at the northern end of Muriwai Beach? What's happening with the elements and the different processes? Why is it different? All right, and so that is where you are going to be looking at these slides. Okay, go back to the slides. All the information is there. Talk about it with your teams. Don't forget, we need key concepts and the specific information. Oh, look, another typo. So, paragraph 7 is tying it all up, finishing it all off. You're going to restate what the patterns are. You're just going to keep it all general, keep it really specific. What I mean by that is you're not going to go into the processes, but you're going to say what the outputs are, and then you're going to conclude it with a statement. All right, so you're going to your final statement may even be the processes work differently or interact differently at the different parts of the beach, which is why we've got different outputs, aka the sand dunes. Right, so that's planning your essay. So that there is just the plan. So put in that specific information. So for example, for Māori Bay, no vegetation growth. What is the type of vegetation growth? We need to keep it real specific. Okay. Draw your map or diagram. So because you're doing this collaboratively and it's digital, only one person is going to be able to draw the diagram. But what do you want the diagram to show? What is it in so your annotations, what are your annotations that you're going to show? And also, your annotations must answer the essay question, all right? There's no point in just drawing a beautiful map, which I know that you can all do because I've started to see your work. But this here is pretty much the map that we want to see. But you can add your specific information. You can add what's happening to the longshore drift. It's uniform at this part of the beach. It's not uniform down in these parts of the beaches because of the headland. You're going to talk about the saltation. Put a bit of saltation, a bit of surface creep on there. And you're going to draw in your cliffs down here. Keep it super specific to the question. Remember your geographic conventions, your frame, your arrow, your colour, your key, your title, and your scale. So someone's going to have to draw this and someone's going to have to upload it onto your essay. So who's the best artist in your group, or who actually finds drawing the maps the hardest? Perhaps that is a challenge that that person may want to take on. Right. Write that essay. Okay. Follow your plan. That is your recipe. If you've got all the specific information and stuff in there in bullet points, all you now need to do is put it into a paragraph. All right? You're going to use the seed format, and I've broken that down on the slides that follow here. Help each other out, and as always, just try your absolute best, okay? I'm not after... If your absolute best isn't achieved, then that's great. And if your absolute best is an excellence or a merit, then wonderful. And if your absolute best at this time of the year, under these circumstances, is not achieved, well then you hand that essay in. You give me what you have and I can give you feedback. Alright? We're all in this together. So, remember last term, when we were actually in class, we went over how you write an essay. So I've still left it with the tourism development examples because I don't want to give away too many hints, because what else would you guys have to talk about? I rolled my eyes and laughed at my own joke there. Just follow this and you should be fine. And then on Friday, you should be up to task 5, which is submitting your work and then enjoying your weekend. Alrighty, so what other documents do I have that is going to help you? We've got here feedback from when this essay question was asked in 2016. So what actually happened to get a not achieved, an achieved, a merit, and an excellent? Make sure you go through this, have a read, talk about it with your friends in your group. What are you aiming for? Obviously, we've got our spatial variations PowerPoint. I will attach this again. And then we've got this, our actual essay question. Please write your answers on here and put your diagram in here as well. We will, as always, we're here for you. So if you need help, please post your questions into our Google Classroom or flick us an email or talk to your friends and then ask me. I've got a Google Meet coming up soon, so I look forward to seeing many of you there. So once again, you're going to plan your essay, work on it, talk about it with your mates, and try and hand it in. I'd like to say it's super easy, but I know that it's actually not. It's quite challenging. So basically, just to recap, the question is, why are the sand dunes different at different parts of the beach? So that question again, why are the sand dunes different at different parts of the beach? Remember, NCEA is about interpreting the questions, and that's what that question means. Oh, and one last thing is analyze. That word analyze means how something happens. In this case, it's how something happens and why it happens that way. And if you can keep answering how and why, you haven't answered the question. But the minute you can no longer answer those questions anymore, then you have given it your best shot. Alrighty team, take it easy, look after yourselves, and I'm looking forward to reading your essays. Ka kite anō.